Leonardo DiCaprio started off in Hollywood as a child, so he's used to dealing with creepy people. For example, Epstein had an infatuation with Leo and tried his best to befriend him, even trying to win him over with some big money deals. Leo sold out to the elites along with his girlfriend, who ended up working with Epstein and sending victims directly to his island. So, let's get into it. People always talk about the files, but I want to actually see them. So, let's go ahead and take a look. This website, Gmail, is actually a recreation of Jeffrey Epstein's email inbox. And I wanted to look at his connection to Leonardo DiCaprio. In one email, Jeffrey is asking this man named Depot whether Leonardo DiCaprio would be interested in having dinner with Woody Allen. Red flag. Not entirely sure what this man has in connection to Leo or Epstein. Oh God, Peggy Siegel. Every time I see her name pop up, I get shivers down my spine. She's like a PR person who worked very closely with Woody Allen and Jeffrey Epstein. She writes this email to Jeffrey writing that you need to stop this fast. The Interact is a virus, and this will spread around the financial world very fast. Don't know what she's talking about here. Ask around about Ken Sunshine. Very calm, cool guy. Reps Leonardo DiCaprio for years, and much more serious institutions and people. I can call him for you whenever you want. This misinformation will escalate. XOXO Peg. And it seems like Peggy was trying to be protective of Jeffrey Epstein. Actually, speaking of Ken Sunshine, the name does not fit him because he's not very, bright. Actually, he has been known to intimidate people in the past, particularly Harvey Weinstein's victims. In one email, Jeffrey asked a man named Peter Mandelson, "Can you think of anyone in India, China, Japan, etc., that might want the endorsement of Leonardo DiCaprio, Russia, etc., cars, etc.?" He's looking for non-US products to endorse to make some money. At that point, Peter asked him to call him on his home phone number. So, we don't know what happens after this, but what is Peter Mandelson doing in connection to Leonardo DiCaprio and Jeffrey Epstein? He's a politician based in the UK. The more I learn about Jeffrey Epstein, the more clear it is that there are connections between the elites, the famous, and the people who are politically in charge. I mean, that's why Jeffrey Epstein has so many connections to, like, Israeli spies. He has his passports, his various passports, but it's a little bit weird that Jeffrey Epstein is pretty much asking this man Peter, this politician, whether he has opportunities for Leonardo DiCaprio. Why is he acting like a manager for Leo trying to find him some brand deals? In one email, the former ambassador Peter Mandelson, who was fired from his post after the details came out of his relationship with Epstein, appeared to include accepting money and sharing highly confidential government information with Epstein. Now, I'm not saying DiCaprio has anything to do with anything. I think it is odd someone's going to Jeffrey Epstein to ask these questions, but it is also just another note on his file that it's a running joke that he doesn't date anybody over the age of 23. There's also not concern, but a theory that these women are his beard. I don't know which way do we go. Finding out that Epstein might have something to do with 4chan, now the founding of the politics area of 4chan and then Pizzagate, there's a whole web connected. I'm ordering a whiteboard because it's too much. This isn't the first time that Leonardo's name has been brought up within the Epstein files, actually. A victim named Joanna, who accused Epstein of terrible crimes, spoke about how Leonardo DiCaprio was very close to Epstein. It's kind of like a form of grooming or intimidation, like you're around Epstein, of these really famous people, and you hear him saying that he's got close connections to all these people that you admire, or you look up so highly like Leonardo DiCaprio. You would think that Epstein has to be a good guy if Leo is friends with him. But of course, we're learning that Hollywood does not work that way. It also looks like Peter Mandelson was paid about $75,000 from Epstein, which is pretty sad that his soul is worth that much. Of course, he says that he has no record or recollection of receiving these sums of money, and he does not know if these documents are authentic. So he has no idea if the money ever came through, which I'm calling BS. He does apologize for his association with Epstein, saying that he does regret associating with him, and apologizes to the women and the girls who suffered. More than 300 additional pages have been unsealed, and we're actually expecting even more A-list celebrities also come up in this latest release. We have model Naomi Campbell, actors Leonardo DiCaprio, Kevin Spacey, Cate Blanchett, Bruce Willis, and Cameron Diaz all mentioned here. Same with Star Wars creator George Lucas, Michael Jackson, and magician David Copperfield. Again, none of these people are accused of committing any crimes, but it does give us a better idea of who Epstein was spending time with. Their names are out there now in the zeitgeist. Have any of them come out and said, hey, look, I went to a party for the environment, or we went to save the whales or something? That's what I'm sure we're going to hear from all these people. Again, no one is accused of wrongdoing here. But seeing these big names come out, it's tying them to this yucky scandal. Really, it's concerning if these celebrities say anything. And if there's any justification for them to have been spending time with Jeffrey, it's just such a case, Brooke, of if these influential people, they offer their planes, they offer their islands, they offer their big houses, their parties, their places in New Mexico. He has places in Paris. He had a place, one of the largest houses in New York. And you have this influential guy who's saying, come to my party, come to my house. And he has a lot of influence. And they all go over there because they think he's powerful and wealthy. Doesn't mean anything that they knew anything was happening. The wrongdoing was happening. Leo was with Epstein. Leo was partying with Diddy. No surprises here. We also know that Leo likes them young, not as young as Epstein. Yikes. So gross. His reputation was already being the guy who literally doesn't date anyone over 20-ish. Is anyone surprised? And people also say that Leo was probably harassed by Brian Peake. Brian was involved in the Nickelodeon scandal involving Drake Bell and was convicted of those crimes. And Brian also had spent some time around Leo. And to be honest, Brian seemed like such a creep around young Leo that I wouldn't be surprised if he was traumatized in some way. Kind of like Drake Bell was. Leo, as you know, is the latest, hottest, hunkiest teen idol there is. Yeah. Muscles. Look, speaking of hunky, huh? What's it like to be a teen idol? Oscar Cameron. I don't... You see, we drawings of each other. Brian is the famous artist, and we always make fun of each other and portray each other in silly, satirical ways. Leo's job on the set, for some reason, is to make fun of me all day long. I don't know about that teen thing. I mean, I think it's good. I think it's good for publicity, but they don't. It's almost like they're not actors, you know what I mean? It's like they portray them as like sort of a piece of, yeah, this person has the same sentiment. Leo grew up in that world. There's a good chance something happened to him when he was young, too. And Leo's building a hotel in Israel right now. It's strange how he seems to get away with this stuff when minor pop stars get dragged for less. Leo was finally found on a list that he actually wanted to be on. Usually, if it doesn't involve a yacht and someone born after the release of Inception, he's not interested. A lot of celebrities seek foreign endorsement contracts because they are lucrative and typically don't hurt their image or brand in the US. Epstein may have been using this as a means to integrate himself to Leo. As for the younger women in Leo's life, my understanding is that he hasn't been in a long-term relationship with Lucas Hose for nearly 2 decades. Oh, that's because everyone thinks Leonardo DiCaprio is secretly gay. They say that Lucas is usually spotted on vacations with Leo and his girlfriends. Leo gets a beard, and the girlfriend he's with gets name recognition to help propel her career forward. So, I came across this TikTok where this creator explained that it wasn't just Leo who had a relationship with Epstein. Of course, he wasn't emailing him directly, but someone who was actually Leo's ex-girlfriend. And what's even like sick and sicker or crazier about this is that it seems like she almost took on like a Junior Galen Maxwell role where she started to help like recruit and offer other girls to Epstein. Take a look. Leonardo DiCaprio has mentioned in the Epstein files a few times Leonardo's former girlfriend, Alicia Ryabanova. There's emails between her and Epstein. So, in the emails I'm about to show you, they're kind of worded weird, so I'll explain before I show them to you. She offers up a friend to Epstein. She calls Epstein a, quote, love bunny, which is so gross to me. And then she even says, I'll find a girl for you this time. I promise. I'm so bitter now. I'll do anything. Europe would be better to find a little girl. She says, I dated Leo. I like super hot boys. Super. Offering, another girl. All right, so let's get into it. I'm dating Leo. So hot. I like young, super hot boys. I'm like, or Leo or super rich young boys. I'm super hot now. Where's Skinny Patrick? I need to go and strip for him. Here's where she tells Epstein, I'll find girl for you this time, I promise. I'm so bitter now. I'll do anything. Europe would be better to find little girl. What do you mean by little girl? This is the email where Alicia calls Jeffrey Epstein a love bunny. She goes, "Love bunny, do you want to see my friend or not? She would love to see you." And she's sweet. And then Epstein goes, "I'm not in New York. Send photos." And I guess she sends a photo, which is blacked out. And then Epstein says, "Where is she? And where were these pictures taken?" And then Alicia says, "I just spoke to her. She can come in 10 days. And this is her phone number." So to me, it sounds like she is helping to bring in other girls to Epstein and other men, allegedly. Then in another email, Jeffrey Epstein is again asking about more friends. He's like, "Any new friends? Happy Christmas." And then she says, "Do you like black girls? The one I know is really beautiful. She's 20. Happy Christmas." Mwah. Okay. Gross. And then he says, "Send photo." And she says, "Sure." Looks like Alicia is helping to bring in more girls again. This comment reads, "I heard he's trying to build a house for the kids in Chile." I think somebody else asks, what if Leonardo DiCaprio is code for something? Victims become part of a system and start liking that world. Another person added that he was mentioned in the Playboy scandal too. I don't know exactly what that comment is referring to as far as the Playboy scandal, but you have me interested. What are we talking about here? So, I guess this model claims that, he wasn't the best hookup partner. Interesting. She said, "I was in a secret club in LA, one where you only get in by invitation, and I saw him sitting there in his black hoodie and black cap, and we made eye contact. Wait, look at some of these gossip headlines. Okay, wait. Ladies, your nightmare ex is about to look like Prince Charming compared to Leonardo DiCaprio, at least in the bedroom. He's selfish, lazy, and downright rude. This is in print as well." I guess her friend had hooked up with him. She told me that during the act, Leo put on headphones and even started vaping. Then he signaled her to keep going while he was just laying back and zoned out. The woman was so confused by the situation that she just carried on embarrassed and hoping for things to change. But Leo continued to lie there and was listening to MGMT while his date was left, wondering like, why am I doing this? Wait. That is so like Leo's the laziest lover ever. I can kind of see that. You know, he seems like the lazy type. God, I'm sure he was not happy whenever these headlines came out. Leo is awful in bed. Well, maybe if he is like gay, like people tried to insinuate, then that would explain it. But I want to hear what you guys think of this situation in the comments below, and if you have any other videos you want me to do about the files, let me know. But yeah, we're treading lightly. We're not trying to, go a little bit too deep in here because we're scared. But let me know what you guys want me to talk about next.